Hello. Good morning, YouTube world. How are things doing? Well, my name's Dan. Dan's Artland. I run things with my little boy a lot of times, so he'll always pop in and out. He's the JohnnyTronic portion of it. My 8-year-old little futurist man. He is just blowing my mind all the time. We'll get into that in a little bit. So I am the futurist who likes to talk about the future. I really am. Since a little kid, come on now. I was a little kid growing up with Back to the Future and then Back to the Future 2. Waiting for Back to the Future 2 because I saw the continue at the end. Which the continue supposedly I watched in one of my other YouTube shows I love to watch, which is Minty. I do. Shout out to Minty. He does some great work on his stuff to talk about the things that happened on and around the movie. Gives you some great insight. I'm a true fan. I love to get deep into fandom. And, of course, Back to the Future having its true fandom that just, I mean, everything about it to me, I loved everything about it. The flying cars, the fashion, walking the streets, the holograms. This is part 2, of course, just to let you guys know. So when it finally popped and came out, I remember the trailers popping. Oh, God. I was there for Batman when Batman first came out with Michael Keaton. I'm talking the original rebooted Batman the movie. I remember that line going around the movie theater and what are movie theaters today. So once again, I'm going to go into where I see, for the most part, fashion going. Not even so much fashion, but I am going to be dipping into the fashion. Yeah, today's going to be fashion for the most part, but it's going to be for the most part going into streetwear. And at the very big top of this, it's pretty futuristic, but it's going to be something that you're going to see. You're going to see more of a unique urban idea, probably. Functional fashion. I look at this, and even though it's not this, I look at it and say that could be someone's backpack. Just different version of it. Something that makes more functional sense to keep you more. Things are going to get tighter. They just are. I mean, I like clean looking, tight as well. So I'm always into this. That's pretty sweet as well. I mean, I like the future fashion that I'm actually seeing. This is futuristic fashion on my Google search. I just put futuristic streetwear. And there's going to be this as well. The real flourished fashion, which I like as well because I was a huge fan, once again, of Fifth Element. Loved Fifth Element. Mila Jovovich came out there with just some sweet fashion. I mean, I liked the look of it, but of course it was the whole world's fashion. Chris Tucker, busting, it was real flourished, so it was really neat. I thought it was just he was a real prominent character in who he was portraying as well, which was kind of an androgynous male figure, which things of the future are probably going to be. There's going to be how about this, a very unique culture of androgyny, which is, I think it's going to be the way it is. I have no real thoughts on it, really. I don't know what to say to it. It's just kind of going to be neat. There's, like I said, if it looks like, look at this. Look at that head thing right there. That looks sweet. That's just sweet. I know it's probably some unique form of fashion, but I look at it and I say, inside of that unique looking thing could be a whole digital world going on. I mean, this is probably nothing more than just fashion, so it's probably see-through and the person's wearing it for just a sake of fashion. But when I see it, I'm like, I can see this actually being functionable. Heck, each one of those studs can have little hologram machines on them. I know that sounds silly, but there's a bunch of little like stars on there on the shirt, and I'm looking at it and I think to myself, I'm thinking those could be all little hologram generators for fashion of the future. So, I don't know. I look into things kind of funny. I see another thing than what the person did. So yeah, there's, once again, the visor. But once again, that makes a lot of sense. That visor would make a lot of sense if seeing with your actual eyes is not the real main necessity. meaning you want to have a more digital experience going on throughout the city. There's going to be a unique double world going on. Lift the visor, and you're not going to really be seeing that much. It's going to look pretty dry, but drop the visor, and all of a sudden the signs can pop out from windows to be a lot more advertisement friendly, so people can go in and actually maybe choose straight on the street. You'll see people on the street with an experience happening in front of them because they're setting up their experience for inside a store, or because people are going to be a little bit spaced right now, especially. I think things like this will be quite unique. So if we have to have I saw a guy who made something really cool. YouTube video, guy made this little little LED light thing that spun around, and it dropped an LED light ring around them for the 6-foot spacing that everyone needs to be doing for their safety spacing themselves. And this would be a unique experience as well if you could drop down a visor and have your social distancing proper, to where when you start to enter, it's going to give you a toll, like to the left or to the right, or something will come up to give you, or maybe the light will kick and go, social distancing, experiencing social distancing problems, or something will come up, boom, boom, boom. Because right now I'm saying that there is going to have to be a unique integration of our, how do you say this proper? Because there's no way to get to hit it without some side saying screw you, and it's the authoritarian versus the damn near anarchist within our society, because we within ourselves have that. We have the controlling versus the empathy portion of our lifestyle that has to go into an effect. Some people's empathy is a lot higher than their controlling aspect. Some people's controlling aspect is real high and their empathy is very low. And if that can happen, it can be devastating on either end, swinging too far. So somewhere in the middle, where we could say my glasses have a sound thing that tell me if I am doing something that the authority is not 100% stoked about. It doesn't have to alert the authority, but it can alert you and start a sequence of actions that kind of let you know you are purposefully entering into an authoritarian situation. What do you do? I mean, really, what do you do? If you want to have your freedoms and the authority wants to be authoritative, how can we live amongst ourselves? Birds can't fly wherever they want. They'll crash into trees, buildings, and other stuff. So they have to evade very specific things. And we're the ones who are putting those things up for the most part. From windmills to everything. Birds can't just do what they want. We have to realize we have our green zones and our red zones in our life coming up. And we have to live within those green zones and red zones proper, where when we start going into the yellow and orange zone before it gets into the red, we are understanding what is happening. Because that's going to be something that's going to be coming into an effect. I mean, they're doing it everywhere right now in the world. And I'm trying to figure out how some people are like, oh, we're giving up our rights. We're giving up our this. And I'm going, you're right. 100%. Damn. Okay, so what do we do? But the authority's saying, okay, we're going to take this, though, because we feel this is a necessity. A lot of smart people go into these think tanks to have them do it, too. So it's not like they're just sitting around making dumb decisions and stuff. They may have an agenda to still be performed, but at the same time, here's what's being told to them by smart people who know of the agenda as well. So they're going, well, we gotta maybe ... So if we could have we already walk around with our cell phones, which are tracking everything, and everyone kind of has that as a, for the most part, understanding. You turn on your GPS function, it knows where you're at. That's just a simple one right there. So boom. Let's just say anytime they want to, they can then say, I want to follow that GPS dot. Okay, now they're tracking. So let's just say it's not happening now, but that's how easy it would be to do. So everyone walks around with their cell phone. Why not have this now? And an experience that is going to be understood with proper necessity, knowing that if they're going to say there's a contagion out, and they start tracking people down with their GPSing and saying this is where okay, so now these people are going to be like, oh crap, I have a red dot on me. What did I do? Now, here's the deal. Where do we as a society go from there? We'll talk about in a whole nother situation. The reason why I'm going there is because I want to say I see this fashion that can help implement these things for us in a way that now gives us back our feeling of independence, because that's what we really want, is our feeling of independence. If I have a proper understanding of where my greens, oranges, and red zones are, I'm going to be a lot more... We do it we do it right there. Every time we stop our car at a signal, what the frick is stopping us? There's not a wall that shows up all of a sudden. There's a light. But with that, as a society, we understand, oh, that light gives me the understanding of where I need to be traveling. It makes it to where everything functions nicer. And we've full on accepted that so much so that you always see the movie or the bad guy's being chased by the cops, and it's could be a joke movie or whatever, and the light turns red and the person stops. It's a social construct so deep that it's hard not... I mean, yeah, of course they blow through. But in the movie, they're making a reference to the fact that it's a social construct. So much so that you have to ask a person to find out kind of where they are in life. If you were in the middle of a field type area, Kansas, as far as the eye can see, you can see every direction. All of a sudden, you come up to a crossroad, there's stops all four. So you have to stop no matter where you come up on that. As you're coming up to it, you can see as far as the eye can see. You can see that there is no one around anywhere. You can see that there's nothing around all the way. Do you stop at that stop sign? A lot of people will say, yeah, that's what it's there for. And others will see that and say, well, I mean, in this circumstance. Okay, so with that said, people have a social construct of still having to think that thought in their head. If you're coming up to those stop signs, even if you blow through it, you're still thinking that way. I don't care if you're a bad guy. I don't care if you're Vin Diesel in Fast and the Furious. You're still thinking to yourself, okay, no cops coming, no cars, this can't hurt a soul. Wrong. You're still in your mind having to conceive that notion. So with that, I'm saying we as a society have a deep understanding of these things. If we give ourselves a new set of understandings and our fashion can become a part of it, then we can actually say to ourselves, I can social distance if I need to. If a contagion does break out and so all of a sudden someone does turn red, because all of a sudden the CDC realizes that, boom, there's something happening, we got to make sure we tell people, and they start locking down things and knowing where people kind of were and are, and they can start turning some people red. And so some people would all of a sudden realize people are having a bubble around them. They're going to realize they're red, and they're going to have to contact something, go somewhere, find out something. Hey, I'll put it to you this way. If it saves a lot of lives, I can conceive that being an understanding for most people. Same way as when the ambulance comes through, everyone pulls off to the side. It'll be more of that kind of a function in our mind, and not a function of, why does no one like me? As of now, we have that Facebook, Instagram mentality of, why does no one want to see me? Oh my God. But if that was an actual societal construct that we have actually built up, and all of a sudden you see people peeling off around you, and you're going to go, whoa, you're going to look at your little thing, click your sunglasses and go, Jeeves, what's happening here? And all of a sudden, it's going to come up and go, hey, yeah, they when you were flying to said country, an outbreak occurred, and they're now saying that it has a 2-week process to it. Then you are fitting inside of that criterion, and you are now as of now needing to go to someplace and go get checked out. And the big thing is we as Americans are starting to come under the idea, since everyone has the internet, of realizing, we're kind of a testing ground for certain things, and that's the thing that we don't like. Is I don't want to go to a facility to be tested on them. That's the only thing that everyone's wanting to know, is that there's got to be a trust issue somewhere here. That's why this is not working, because it's not happening as a social construct right now, where we're really wanting this to happen the way it's happening right now in front of us with this situation that we have going on. So what I'm saying is, through our fashion, we'd be able to actually utilize some of these things, and we would feel independent in our actions doing this. And feeling independent is a first step to becoming independent to your own mind. So let's see here. So it's pretty cool. I was just looking at some stuff. I'm always looking at it, like I said, saying, you know, what would fashion look? I like stuff like this. I even like that weird, wacky this mask right here. This one. This one's pretty cool. It's wacky, but it's cool. There's the dude right below it. He's got one too. That's pretty. I mean, I like the little fans. I wonder how tight it is to the face. Is it more fashion? You know, I don't want fashion. I want function. I mean, the things better sit tight and like I wear face masks all the time. I've done a lot of construction stuff in my life, so I've lived in face masks for weeks. Just cool stuff. I mean, I'm always wondering when they're going to start to integrate more into fashion. I've always wondered that. Because right now it's getting to where it won't be hard. We're thinking about going cyborgy in our own bodies, and I'm thinking, why would we cyborg our bodies first before we can actually like cyborg our clothing? When we want to cyborg our clothing first before we go out and cyborg our bodies? Put integrative stuff into our fashion, and they make it seem like, well, that's just going to be tough. And I'm going, yeah, but you're about ready. People are about ready to start weaving things into their body. Futuristic fashion. Dude's got like a flower face. That's crazy. Captain Marvel Jr. Yeah. Okay, so this is where I'm going to start dropping myself into... I like that look. See, stuff like this. This would probably even still be considered to be a little too loose and lenient for super futuristic, but I like that look right there. I know it seems crazy because it's a full mask. But once again, I see that as being where stuff can be weaved into it that would actually be very functionable. And like I said, I think like glasses are going to be a bigger issue. People are going to be dealing with more visuals in front of their face. Could people actually have holograms that then you're looking through the hologram like a set of sunglasses, and then through the hologram you're going to be seeing stuff, so you don't even need to wear glasses anymore. It's going to like almost put a holographic set of lenses almost in front of you. So what you're looking at, the hologram is going to be just changing in front of your face to be seen through. So you would see him, this dude right here in front of us, and what you would be seeing is you'd be seeing a holographic imaging. You'd be looking through the hologram and you'd be seeing a trace of him with information or whatever you need to see. Futuristic clothing. Sea glasses. I always think there's going to be a lot more forms of visual stuff going on real soon. I'm not saying that's even the best thing either, but I just foresee it happening. Techwear tumbler. It's pretty sweet. It looks militaristic, but I think that's the way things are going to kind of lightly be, is toned down, darkened movement safety factors. There's going to be the inner city portions of things where you're going to be dealing with a lot more color. Like, I like the dress colors there. Those are beautiful. But these are all just fashion. And I don't know about fashion. Well, that was not bad, though, below it. See these colors? Like this. There you go. It looks pretty tight. I like the color. See, I want to see more of like this, but with color. That's what I think. Like, I mean, what's this? I don't want to go down too far because I'd end up in probably a page that has something I can't show or something. I don't want to be showing too much skin. That's not what this is about. This is about, yeah. Oh, there you go. This. These are reflectors. Those are sweet though. I think those suckers really reflect. But that's what I would see you would have all over you. So you would be very dark in the almost, you'd be dark. But then stuff would hit you and then you'd color up. That's what I see the fashion being, is kind of a play on color. That's pretty cool too though. See, I don't think of things like this as being. I always think, you know, welders wear their aprons. That's the thing. I've been behind a welder's apron my whole day, and if you work a lot, I like to have that little front pouch that has the tool thing on it, so I can take it off easy. But it kind of comes off more of an apron-esque feel to it. So I know they also have these big bag in the huevos there. I don't really understand that so much. I think it would bog me down if I wanted to squat or do something, really do something. I think it would bog me down. I get it as a look. I just don't see it as functional. I get very functional, and I think people should be going a little more toward function. A little more toward function. Do do do. So I did a couple of bottes. I got the man, I got the woman, and I was just thinking to myself, like, what would be the thing right now? I don't know if people can see it. We'll start over here. I'm trying to figure, like, what would... Let's see. Like, I'm always thinking like you want to have a projection field maybe even around you that can pop up. So when people are doing something, you can even have something that would be holographic that would put up in front of somebody to stop them from coming forward to you. Let's say you're sick, just sick, standard sick. Let's not go toward all the super ultra, you know, out there things where it's actually happening right now. But once again, let's not go there. Let's go towards something very simple and just say you have the common cold. You set your thing and say, I got the cold, let people know not to shake my hands. So you don't forget yourself, because people come up and you always forget, you know, you're like, and then, you know, your hand's got it. You're not even thinking about it. So you go up and you'll shake someone's hand. How are you doing today? And you didn't really get a chance to wash and do all this stuff properly. So it'd be nice for you to be able to set yourself for cold and then turn off cold when you feel you're complete. So that way, every time you walk around, it will put up a little thing that says, sorry, I have the cold, or sorry, not feeling well right now, or something would pop up, and it would kind of put a little quick barrier around someone getting ready to walk close to you, and then it would kind of disappear. So people would kind of get these little notifications popping up around them. Crazy, I know, but I think it would actually, in this world that we're dealing with, be able to allow you to have your autonomy and remove a little bit of the authoritativeness that they're having to utilize right now for the sake of us. So I'm going to say, for the most part, people are going to want to have... So I'd put like a Iron Man sensor type thing. Maybe a couple on the shoulders. Now this is weaved into the fashion. And if this thing was able to project from your chest up something that then you can look through, you wouldn't need to have any headgear, keeping your head smooth and sleek. Some people talk about contacts, some people talk about other things. I'm always looking at it saying there's going to have to be radiation going somewhere, something to be doing stuff. This would be bringing something to where it would be easy to weave into your gear some sort of meshing that wouldn't let radiation go into your body as much. I just want to keep my head radiation free if I can. You know, I don't even like when we have to put our cell phones up to our head and people put the little widget in their ear, and I look at those and I say those are just things radiating to you. So if there was a way for your hologram system to be able to project so you can look through it to see a digital world around you, I think that's going to be an actual reality. So if you were to put something on this buff-chested dude right here, but you know, for reals, the dude's not going to be so ripped. So you're going to have a sensor that kind of is right here, and you know, maybe some shoulder sensors. And on this one, you're going to be able to see that there is a back sensor. Okay. So they're not going to be that big and bulky, but I'm just showing where they're going to be. Now, I liked the gear that the dude was wearing, so I'm always looking at it and saying, okay, so in this fashion here, we're going to jacketize this hombre. You know, he's got himself a snifty little collar going on, but and with it, I think belt buckle is going to be something else. So let's just not. So the dude's going to have something going on belt buckles on. And I'm saying it for the fact of like maybe front and back and maybe even. Shoes will be a unique entity as well because they keep going crazy with shoes. Me personally, I walk barefoot every chance I get. I love letting my little tootsies touch the ground. I hike this way. I live in the mountains, so I go on pretty decent hikes where I just got some friends. We go on our barefoot hikes. Just, I love it. Like right now, it's starting to warm up. You got to kind of worry about maybe snakes, maybe scorpions. I feel I can climb rocks better, trees better. I hop around nice and easy. But for the future person, you know, they have those rolly things, and they have the. I think that you're going to be able to have some form of movement through your shoes. I don't know how to say that either because I don't want to have wheels. I don't want hinky. Hinky's going to be just it's a trend. I don't want trendy. Things that work are things that work kind of forever. It's just like I like the ones that, like I said, I like the clothes that look like they kind of get buckled down a little bit better. So they would probably be lightly strapped in certain areas. And I think there'd be functions of color in certain aspects of stuff like this weaved in. You might have LEDs or something. So I could conceive kind of a cool concept of, but I want it to be functional, like I said. So when you go running or you do something, it can suddenly light up. Like let's say you start moving faster, they will light up. So then you slow down. They sense some things going on around you, and it can like tell people like with it, they'll like blast red to show people like stop, go green. So there's going to be functions of stuff that will, like I said, I want people to have their autonomy, their feeling of autonomy, their feeling of I'm not trapped. But at the same time, we're seeing right now that we have to have some form of something to regulate our. Everyone wants freedom, and I'm going, freedom doesn't exist. I've never seen freedom. I've never known what freedom really is. Everyone talks about America being freedom, but America has the most freedoms that you can do. So there's things you cannot do. That's not freedom. That's lack of freedom for the most part. And I look at it and I say, we have the most freedoms as a society compared to a lot of others, but we're not free. And can we be? So I'm not saying it in a way that's like how dare they and how dare we and how. I'm saying it more like, how could we? I mean, we have to be lightly regulated. But if we can be lightly regulated, I went to the military, and I understand a difference than a lot of people who have never gone through the military understand, is they can, at whatever time, lock you down. So when you're locked down, what do? Do you know how to say okay at the right moment? Do you know how to agree when you should just not agree, even when it's dumb? Do you know how to agree proper to get you to the next? There's things to do that a lot of people who don't like authority will say that's taking away my freedom, and it's like, dude, you don't have freedom. Who told you really have freedom other than you believing you have freedom? We have freedoms, and they're great. America has great freedoms. I've been around the world. Once again, I'll say this a lot. Been around the world, gone to a lot of places. We have a lot of great freedoms in our country. We do. I mean, freedoms. Blindingly ridiculous ones, too. Like, what? Why are we so free about this? So we have freedoms above and beyond a lot of other places. We are far from free. So things like our clothing giving us a little more understanding of, like, let's just say our placement. So society wants something done specifically. Our clothing can now start to interact with people in a way that we could start to build into our social construct. Because remember this, everybody, we stop at stop signals. Those just got here in our society. Within 100 years, we suddenly went from, I mean, there's always been the person that stops stuff because of carriages, and so signaling has been around for a while, but the stop light and the just stopping when someone says with authority, hey, this is where you stop, we do. Bad guys do. Everyone does. It's just the way it is. So we need to, I'm just going to do a goofy, awesome cut top style jacket here. That looks crispy. Making it to where you can have a set of nice gloves. And with these gloves, a lot of functioning probably is going to take place inside of your new digital world that you're going to be seeing. So you're going to go up and, but that way you can interact your Digios linked up with like something like this, and it's going to know where everything's going to be in a space. So it looks like today we're just going to work on, I'm working on the dudes stuff because I do want to work on what I can conceive. I would love to have people talking to me about this stuff. Please, anyone, jump on this. Get in here with me. And I want to show people that right now I need, for the most part, I kind of want to have help on certain areas, like especially when it comes to things like fashion, putting zippers in places. So that way people are going to have, like I said, they're going to have stuff, but they're not going to want to be, every time I drag around a backpack, it drives me crazy. So, join up, jump in, and help me do this right here, because this part I love to do, but I would love to have someone help me with the idea of like what would be where really, like for a good girl fashion. I would love to have someone send me in some ideas of what they conceive to be future for reals. Like what I'm doing here is I'm not saying I want this to, here's the way I think this will all look, because of course there's gonna be different, there's gonna be the same styles you see right now. There's gonna be tuxes, there's gonna be all the same shenanigans you've always seen. So, and they're not going to change one bit either. You're going to look at it and you're like, that's the same thing we're seeing right now. Yeah, of course. So what I'm doing is I'm saying there's going to be this stuff that's going to have to be form follows function for a society. And for form follows function of society, what does it look like? And I'm saying I want to say, with what we know now around us socially, what can we use? Okay, so we have the situation happening right now where the world's on lockdown, which for the most part, let's just say I take no place on. I have no real direction for it, saying it's good or bad right now. I'm just going to say that. And what I'm doing is I'm saying for the future, knowing what we know now with this, what could we do to make a more public friendly system utilizing our fashion. That's just for this one, right? That's for this topic right here. I'm probably gonna have to come back to this one eventually. Actually, I'm gonna come back maybe tomorrow with the female fashion if I feel like I'm gonna be able to really attack the female fashion of it, because really, I mean, I know what the female fashion industry looks like. I pay attention to it to a degree in my periph, but other than that, I'm gonna say even male fashion is not my real. As you can see, I'm quite fashionable. But I do know what looks good and I do know what works. I'm saying more along the line of I can see a hologram here, 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 one in the back. I can see there being some sort of understanding, like a generator, something that's going to be doing power for maybe your whole get up. It's going to be somewhere, maybe here. So everything kind of plugs into a centralized location. I don't know if that's good or bad. Too close to the junk. I don't know. But that way all this stuff will light up proper. You now become a functioning asset of society, saying you can come close to me. I'm very approachable. And if someone does, let's say, just straight up break the law, they can suddenly go red to everyone's visual. And everyone could stop and be like, that is a bad guy. Now that's the part where everyone gets scared. Where do you draw the line on that? What if someone just doesn't do their taxes or he's late on an alimony payment and he goes red, and red means bad, and bad means murder to anything in the minds of a person. So would that suddenly just get crazy? And I think it probably would. So I'm gonna say, see, that's where things need to start dropping back into policy. I'm gonna have to get back into this topics of city and the structure of city. We're gonna have to get into the idea, like in my personal opinion, if there was to be a centralized system, it would have to have a variance so large that it's going to be able to actually function as a reality. So I would say every person who's of retirement years would either, like if you want to receive your benefits, would have to join a kind of Senate. So every person over a certain age would have to join this just generalized Senate. And they vote in ideas that then get voted by the rest of us. So it breaks up society into two different portions. The elder, not elderly, I don't care about that. It's the elder of the masses, the elders amongst us who have knowledge versus the people who are going to incite change and difference. So that way maybe the elders can look at a lot of the ideas that are coming up to vote amongst themselves, the ones that are, because the elders doesn't mean that they're all going to, that's a dumb idea. As a matter of fact, there's quite a few who are very progressive. Amongst all elders, there is a total difference that would be very unique, and seeing the world go as it has, they're going to be able to have a unique placement on opinion. I think that's where a lot of things need to start first, is with our elders, and then be drove down to us. But I think we're the ones who are going to have to be inciting the change to the elders, so there's going to have to be an elect few who do go talk to the elders. So there's going to be a unique thing that would have to go on, but it would be the elders of entirety. Everyone has to vote. And then amongst, I mean, they're all senators, like equally type thing. So as soon as you're of retirement years, if you want to receive benefits of any kind, you would have to go into the, into this universal Senate, where now that you're retired and you're not providing for society in the same way that you used to, you are still providing for society with your knowledge and wisdom. You would have those in different sectors, probably prominent. Your prominent sector being, work or education or stuff of those natures. They can be different sectors of that, of societal ideas. And then that way we can start a new way of thinking that we can actually start doing good. I would feel if it was just not this small little one or two people that are doing, they're still having senators and congressmen. They're there as a face, it would appear to be. I want to get rid of the face and say, let's realize that these are the senators as general. And amongst them, they're split up amongst the main portions of society proper, and then they can all discuss amongst and then send things down that then is used in society. That sounds crazy, but it's exactly what it would be, is those who are still in the workforce amongst all of us, business to sewage worker. There is a general working field that when you finally retire, you're almost of another thing now in society. You start the process so that the process can go to be voted on here, to then be made there. So I'm saying society needs to realize that when you get to a certain years in your life, your functionability has waned a little bit, and we have to accept that. I have 30 good solid years left in me, plus a few more if needs be. Other than that, that's what I got left in me, and I realize when that happens, I would like to be a different portion of society. I would like to be a different portion of society, something that can be more knowledgeable in the fact that I have been here. Even if a person's not the smartest in the universe, they have at least been here long enough to be able to say, I've seen voting happen so many times that this is the part where I see this should happen. So I'm going to wrap this up right now by saying I started with fashion and I did end with just a little bit of politics. So we went through the whole gamut. The first 15 minutes was us discussing a little bit of Google stuff I went on and just was kind of showing what the fashion world is right now and where they are saying they're going to see stuff happening. I'm taking it a little bit further, and I'm kind of going in and putting some tech into the idea, and I kind of wanted to end it by discussing some of the things that's going to be required to start policies in action that will actually provide for a future that doesn't, that's not so caustic. But with that right now, I'm going to wrap this up. My name is Dan from Dan's Artland, DaddyBot JohnnyTronic channel. I'm going to be here tomorrow at 8. I think we will be doing the female fashion. I'll be looking up some stuff to kind of give me a little more of an insight on what I think is going to look good and not. My own personal opinion, of course, which is what it is. And other than that, have a good day. Have a good, stay safe, everybody. Stay safe. Use your noodle. It'll all work for you. I'm the futurist who's talking about the future. Everybody have a good, great, marvelous day. And we'll end this with me going, bye.